Hi there, and welcome to the Ape-Man Responds to John Vervaeke's Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. I'm excited to share this. I've been very influenced by my teacher and friend John Vervaeke and his profound YouTube series entitled Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. I discovered this in 2019, shortly after it came out, and have been studying it ever since. John has produced a 50-hour series, and it's a comprehensive course that follows the evolutionary, historical, development, and philosophical journey of human cognition, including its present-day challenges and plausible solutions. So you can find out more about John's information soon. I'm going to share a lot about him, but first of all, I want to share a little bit about myself. My name is Ben Sanford, and I am the founder and lead guide at Tribal Edge Primal Arts Training Center, where we do on the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State, and we offer courses, coaching, and consulting in a whole bunch of skills that basically revolve around the science, art, and philosophy of human nature integration. And so I have at our school what John refers to as an ecology of practices, and a system that honors what is relevant and meaningful to individuals and collective groups, while they are facilitated on a journey that brings them back home to themselves and to the earth and to the mystery of life. So that's what I'm up to. And this video series is in response to John's work and how it's impacted me and what I'm up to. So it's something I wanted to share because I feel like, as powerful as John's work is, it still remains kind of in one growing but kind of obscure corner of the internet, as it says. And it really needs, I think it's valuable enough that it needs to be reached by the people. So I'm hoping that this can kind of help shed light on what's going on there. And, a lot of it, listening to his series, it's very deep. He's very, he's an academic, very intellectual, and very gifted in language and very articulate. And it takes some focus and attention, especially if you're not used to that kind of, lecturing. And so for people that are a little more hands-on or a little more, a little less attuned to that kind of use of language and that intensity, I wanted to perhaps offer my interpretation and some of the insights that I gained to show how it's relevant to everyone, really, but hopefully make it more accessible to people that are little, working with their hands and playing outside and training in the skills that I'm involved with. So anyway, I feel like there's a really valuable thing to connect here, and so that's part of why I want to do this. So I'm calling this the ape-man's response because I have had a lifetime of hands-on training in the primal arts. I'm a professional tree climber and arborist, and I'm very aware of the fact that I'm a primate first, and I somehow arrived at John's work from a very bottom-up perspective, by training close to the earth and doing these practices and skills that cause a natural, or they afford a natural development of insight and perhaps wisdom cultivation and self-awareness as you pursue them, and many other beautiful things on that journey take place. It's very transformative. But what I was interested in is that somehow I'm able to, without a lot of philosophy training, classical philosophy, and even cognitive science training, I have studied a lot, but I consider myself, I have not been academically trained, so I'm in that sense coming at it from the ape perspective. But so much of what John said or has to say makes sense to me, and not only makes sense, but has revealed and expanded my work and what I'm up to, and given me insights into the teachings that I've received a little more traditionally, um, and metaphorically. And it's just expanded that world in such a way that I just can't stop thinking about it, and I can't stop trying to share it. How it's providing a language and a common way of thinking about these very deep and primal concepts. So, I've been excited about that, for a few years now, and I keep studying his work. And I've actually had a chance to have a couple conversations with John. He's very gracious and open, wonderful person, and so I'm just very thankful for that. And so, I'm I'm wanting to hopefully position myself somewhere between kind of this theoretical and a little more academic approach, and the perhaps a little more primal and embodied uh, perspective, and maybe help those two worlds communicate a little bit more. I know John's working on that, as are many people, and I just hope that this, in some small way, can be yet another voice and another movement in that direction. So, in this series, I hope to be exploring some of the connections and insights and the impacts that I've experienced in studying John's stuff, and his Awakening to the Meaning Crisis series, as well as his, wow, hundreds of hours probably at this point of conversations that are just, super powerful and super valuable. So I'd like to take some of these concepts, though, as they're arising, and bring them into what I teach in our core curriculum at Tribal Edge, uh, and show some parallels, and show some kind of unpack how it translates on the ground in action in an embodied practice, when applying these things to living with the earth and nature connection. So some of the things we'll be looking at is in our core curriculum, which things such as tracking and awareness and observation, survival skills and the tools of living with the earth, healing and combatives, martial art perspective, and protecting life, elements of personal growth and team dynamics, creating community, leadership, and teaching and mentoring. And I'm also going to be taking this into our training methodology and some of the journey that unfolds in the transformative process of human nature connection and integration. So I'll be, comparing and kind of showing similarities between his use of language and the modalities that I've been trained in, and the journey that I've been on, and how that can be used as a really powerful language to help kind of expand the teachings. So really excited about that. So with these videos, assuming this I'm able to do this as a series, John has a huge volume of work, and much of that I'm not even qualified or equipped to say much about. I'm still studying it, but there's a lot of it that really resonates and kind of converges on the work that I'm doing. And that's the stuff, especially where there's particular elements or particular concepts that are, I feel like, vital. I'm going to be trying to explain how those fit into our work and kind of translate the best I can. So, I'm not going to be editing much, if any, and just kind of let it go as it will. So there will be mistakes, and I'll be correcting that as much as I can. But and I hope to do a few videos, perhaps, of out of my property, and do some in nature work with these as well. So kind of bring it into that context. So, and that said, I also plan to, if, after we do a discussion or a focus on a topic, I'd like to share some practices that we use at Tribal Edge that help to ground and embody some of these things and show them in applications so you can try it on and see how it impacts you. So, some of my intentions here, I want to, as I said, share how John's work converges with my work and the primal journey that we do here at Tribal Edge. And my intention is to keep things as simple and accessible as possible to a wider audience that may come across John's work, and hopefully inspire others to discover it for themselves and really kind of dive into this gift that he's offering. And it's my intention to be as humble and transparent as I can, and I want to be clear that I'm sharing my understanding of John's work, and I'm not attempting to go over my pay grade, and I'm not attempting to critique or add to his work, but merely using it to expand and interpret my own work. So I want to really respect what he's done, and until I have a better sense of what's available there, I'm going to be kind of sticking to what I understand and know. I'm going to do my best to provide references when it's appropriate, especially or when I can't. I'm going to rely on John as a source and use him as a reference generally, and encourage you to go look at his work and also the references that he provides there. So I have not read all the 100 books that he recommends, and slowly working into that. But meanwhile, I'm going to be using John as the source, so kind of a secondary source back to his sources. And let's see, I'll probably be speculating and hypothesizing and reaching, in some cases, to explore some connections that I'm making and understanding. And so I'm going to ask for your patience as I take some creative license to explore some ideas in real time and video. And that said, I'm hoping too that those of you that are familiar with John's work will be willing to give me feedback and also maybe correct ideas or concepts as you see I might be off, and to especially in terms of definitions or that kind of thing. So I'd appreciate any feedback and comments that way, and because I just want to get better at this and explain it more accurately. So let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, really excited about this idea, and we'll see how long I can keep it going. I mean, I know it's biting off a lot. Certainly not going to dive into all of his material. I haven't, there's a lot of it I'm still very much studying, but there's some areas that I feel pretty comfortable with that I've really explored pretty deeply and really excited about. So I'm also going to be referring to other teachers and other sources as we go that have influenced me, but this is primarily respect for John and kind of honoring his work and trying to, again, make it more available, more accessible to more people, and maybe in a little way expand that movement a bit and show this most recent influence on my life. So I want to thank you, John, and for everyone watching, and I look forward to this journey with you. All right, take care and keep going.